to be able to work skillfully with your trauma, or for a community or group to be able to process trauma, they need to have access to what brings a sense of resource or resilience.
With mindfulness, it really helps us to feel more embodied. It really helps to balance out our energy and our consciousness.
One of the core self-regulation strategies that we can be offering people who are dysregulated in practice is known as resourcing. And resourcing, I'm going to offer you a definition here, is at a basic level an action or a strategy that we can adopt in adverse circumstances. And in trauma work, resources have to do with this. This came up a little bit earlier, but has to do with resilience. And this is our ability to bounce back from adversity. So I have a picture of moss here. And inside of, hold on, don't look at this too much. Inside of trauma work, this is like, to me, one of the most massive paradigm shifts inside of trauma work. I mean, Jenna, you said you're a trauma therapist. Some of you will be trauma therapists. But when I learned this about resourcing, this was such a massive shift. And basically the idea is that in order for you to be able to work skillfully with your trauma, or for a community or group to be able to process trauma, they need to have access to what brings a sense of resource or resilience. Like an example for me is I think I might have told you this, the first trauma session when I was doing my own personal work that I went to, the trauma therapist said, "Tell me about what's working for you." And I was like, "What do you mean what's working? I want to talk about what's hard. That's what I'm paying for." And they said, "No, I know, I get it, but your ability to be connected to what makes you resourceful is going to support you to be with what was too much, what was overwhelming." So it's a massive pivot towards almost like goodness. But if you're not paying attention, it can feel like a bypass. I bet there's a number of you here that are really allergic to just spiritual bypassing. And I'm always tracking for that. Like, oh, when is someone just telling me to focus on a tree because that will make me feel better? Resourcing is really different. Resource is saying, if someone's nervous system is overwhelmed, they're going to need some strategies and tools that actually help widen their window and give them a little bit more room to be with both their everyday experience and trauma when it arrives. So I'm going to offer you some kind of purposeful practices here that are designed, and I'll show you why they're helpful, but designed to help people inside of meditation. So in the research literature, a lot of research on, you've probably seen a lot of stuff happening around resilience. Some of it's been done on youth. It's this question like, well, why is it that some people bounce back from trauma and overwhelm? And in the literature, there's a couple main buckets that they've seen, researchers have seen that people, practices that people are in that connect them to a sense of resource. One is nature, perhaps not surprisingly. Like, if you're someone who really connects with the natural world, places you can go for a walk, or anything you could fill in the blank there for nature, but being connected to the natural world. Animals is a big one. I don't know, but I'm on Instagram, and my feed is like constantly just cats and dogs. So many videos of people connecting with their four-legged friends. That can be another really helpful one. Creativity, that could be something like dance, or it could be music. Hey, who's that? Oh my gosh. Well, Sean's on mute, but maybe you've seen this pup before waving. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, that's Bella.
Bella.
Hi,
So
David.
cute.
Yeah.
Bella just kind of slumps in your arms. on you.
She does, yeah. She makes my window very big. Yeah.
So sweet. Yeah. So Bella, is that right? Or Stella?
Isabella.
Isabella.
Yeah.
So that's an example. Thanks, Sean, for going live. Others of you might have animals. I encourage you, please bring them on. But if you, I see Dorna and Lisa. Some of you I see some of you kind of lit up a little bit, seeing Sean's pup. That is an example. So if that happened for you, seeing Sean, I'm sorry, I had Stella,
Bella.
Bella. My bad.
Yeah.
So if that happened for you right now, you could mindfully notice the emotions and sensations that come from seeing Bella. That's an example of resourcing. We're being mindful of the emotion. It's often infectious for us. We see we see a little creature like that. Not all of us will be dog people, might be cat people, or not like animals at all. You never know. But that's a perfect example. Thank you, Sean. You're welcome to have. Oh, that's too bad. So that looked like a workout. So creativity and then culture. Culture is another example where we're connecting to lineage. It could be food, that could be tradition. So we have all these different buckets where we connect to what makes us feel resourceful, which supports our resilience. And I want to give you two reasons why this is helpful inside of trauma informed meditation practice. One is that being able to resource, being able to have a purposeful mindfulness practice connected to resourcing can help interrupt compulsive orientation to a traumatic stimuli. So say Lisa, I see you here in my case. Say we were working together and you were meditating and you said, in my meditation, I tend to just constantly be focusing on a certain sensation that feels overwhelming for me. I don't know what to do with this. So in my mind, when I hear that, I'm thinking, oh, it sounds like Lisa's really kind of focusing on Medusa. It's pulling you in, and that might be too much or overwhelming. What then? One of the ways that I could support Lisa or someone I'm working with is to help them find purposeful resources that they can go to in a moment that they're feeling overwhelmed. Now, again, I'm not saying that like you just avoid it when you're feeling difficulty, but if you're constantly being pulled into a vortex of a traumatic stimuli, which is Medusa, you need to have a counter vortex. You need to find something different that you can focus on. So we want students to have a go-to resource that they can work with when they're feeling like they can't pull out of the vortex of trauma. Sean, that might be a great example of if Sean was meditating and Bella was in the room and Sean couldn't focus on anything else, I might say, you know what? You might just want to open your eyes and hang out with Bella for a little bit. Like that might be the move that's going to support your window. So that's one example of why it's helpful. The second is that resourcing can help people stabilize in their window of tolerance. So say someone becomes dysregulated very often. What I might ask someone or invite someone to do for a month to 3 months is just be purposely practicing resourcing inside of their mindfulness practice as a way to stabilize inside their window. Because the more stable that they are in their window, the easier it will be to come back into their window if they're feeling overwhelmed. I'll leave it here. So in this work, we're talking about we can help students and clients purposely cultivate resourceful states that support their window. That's really the punchline of why I wanted to offer this.